MLB Network has their top 10 right now series every year. We continue looking at that series and bringing our own list. Today we look at the top 10 relief pitchers in the game today. Let's get into it. Now, coming in at number 10 on my list, it is Jeff Hoffman. I think that when you look at what this former Phillies reliever was capable of doing, this was a breakout star in my opinion. I think that when it comes to relief pitching, there's a lot of volatility year after year, but this has been one of the more consistent arms coming out of that Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. When you think about what he can be for a contender in 2025, this is one of the more reliable arms that you can build upon. This is a strikeout pitcher that you absolutely want, especially in a postseason run. Without a doubt, there's going to be, again, volatility no matter what relief pitcher you're looking at. But Jeff Hoffman is going to be a guy that provides a bit more consistency than some of the others. Now, coming in at number 9 is the ferocious Wildcat himself, Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver really had a breakout season for the Yankees in 2024 and really solidified himself as a back end of the bullpen type of reliever. He was able to come up with big outs in critical moments for the Yankees throughout their postseason and World Series run. Without a doubt, Luke Weaver going into the 2025 campaign is going to be a key and pivotal asset in the back end of that Yankees bullpen. So without a doubt, the ability that he has to mix and match his pitches is something that the Yankees are going to love going into the new campaign. For me, there's very little question that Weaver has been one of the more consistent relievers watching the Yankees day in and day out, and this is why he ends up on my list. As we get to number 8 on my list, it is Ryan Walker of the San Francisco Giants. When you look at what this team has been able to do throughout the last several decades, the Giants have been able to produce quality relief pitching. When you think back to their run of 3 championships in 5 years, it was headlined by some very, very good relievers. And Ryan Walker is just the next iteration of that continual process. I think that when you look at his numbers for the 2024 season, this is still a young player coming into his own. And I think as we look to the 2025 campaign, if he can replicate those numbers from 2024, this will undoubtedly be one of the better arms in the relief pitcher market. No doubt about it, when you look at what San Francisco is looking to do to try to get back into the divisional battle, get back to the postseason, Ryan Walker is going to be a heavy used reliever in this position. So I think that for the Giants and for Ryan Walker, this 2025 campaign is even going to be more of a breakout season than what 24 was. So Ryan Walker is number 8 on my list. As we get to number 7 on my list, it is Tanner Scott. Another left-hander in the back end of bullpens is always a tremendous asset, and that's exactly what Tanner provides. There's no doubt about it that his ability to get out lefties and righties is a critical factor in why he is so talented at the back end of games. No matter what team he's closing for or relieving for, this is a guy who you can absolutely count on to come in and get those big outs. We saw it play out big time for the Padres against the Dodgers, getting out some of those critical left-handed hitters in that Dodgers lineup. So there's no doubt about it, when you look at a guy like Tanner Scott, his ability to get out important, critical, highly potent bats is something that is very valuable. Again, when you're looking to make a deep postseason run, you want to have guys of this kind of caliber. Tanner Scott is a tremendous asset coming out of the bullpen, and that's why he's number 7 on my list. At number 6 on my list, it is Cade Smith of the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians feature one of the best bullpens in all of baseball in the 2024 campaign, and there's no doubt in my mind that in 2025 they are also going to feature one of the best because of guys like Cade Smith. You look at what he's capable of doing, being able to be a bridge guy to Emanuel C, or you can use him for more high leverage situations. No matter where the Guardians are using Cade Smith, this is a dynamic reliever who is capable of locking the game down and getting outs when most critically needed. Without a doubt, the Guardians are in a prime position to go back as the divisional champions in the Central because of Cade Smith. As we get into number 5, it is the man known as the Mountain, Felix Bautista. Now, obviously, Bautista missed the 2024 campaign with an injury, but coming back in 2025, this is going to be, once again, one of the most dominant arms in the game. A couple of years ago, the Baltimore Orioles had this lockdown closer at the back end, and he absolutely instilled fear in every team he was coming in to face. And there's no doubt about it in my mind that when he comes back onto the mound, there is going to be that same level of fear and trepidation for those opposing batters. Coming in to face the Mountain is not an easy task, and that's why he ranks so highly on my list. As we get into the number 4 player on my list, it is that of the Athletics' Mason Miller. The final all-star for the Oakland Athletics, Mason Miller has one of the most blistering fastballs in all of Major League Baseball. Topping out at several miles over 100, this is a player that can instill that same level of fear as you would think from a dominant closer. But you have the ability to kind of have a fastball that moves even beyond what is comprehensible. I think that when you look at what Mason Miller can be with continued development, this is going to be one of the scariest arms in the majors in 2025. For the Athletics, having a guy like this closing out games for you is something that is a tremendous asset. When it comes to the Athletics in 2025, I think they're going to be a sleeper team, and having a lockdown closer at the end of games like Mason Miller, whose fastball is averaging over 100 miles an hour, is going to be something that is a true benefit and blessing. And for that, Mason Miller ends up highly ranked on my list. As we get into the number 3 player, it is the St. Louis Cardinals' Ryan Hesley. When you think of what this player can be for the long-term success of a franchise that currently, in my opinion, is in the rebuilding process, this is one of the most valuable assets to have in the game. Hesley may not end the season with the St. Louis Cardinals, but while he is there, he is going to bring a fastball combination that is powerful and potent. I think that when you look at what he is able to do for the Cardinals, locking down those games, it is something that is a breath of fresh air for, again, a franchise that's in the midst of a tenuous and rebuilding situation. But no doubt about it, when Ryan Hesley comes out of that bullpen in the 9th inning, you feel that the game is all but over. And that is one of the reasons why he ends so highly on my list. Now, as we get into the top 2, for me, there's a separation between these top 2 and the rest of the closers in the game today. Devin Williams is number 2. The airbender, as he's known, with his absolutely devastating changeup fastball combination, is one of the best closers that we've seen. Yes, there was a tenuous moment to close out his and the Milwaukee Brewers 2024 postseason, but nevertheless, Devin Williams is one of the best closers in all of baseball. There's no doubt about it that what he is able to do with the airbender changeup is something that seems out of this world, something that is out of a comic book or an anime, and no doubt about it, Devin Williams' changeup makes people look silly. Without a doubt, Devin Williams, now being the closer of the New York Yankees, is a tremendous asset in the Bronx. And I think that for New York, they're absolutely going to love to see that player coming out of the bullpen to close things out. Now, as we get into the number 1 relief pitcher in the game today, it is without a doubt, in my opinion, Emanuel C of the Cleveland Guardians. When you look at what this player is capable of, 101 mile an hour cutter, this is a level of dominance that we have not seen, in my opinion, since Mariano Rivera. Now, obviously, there's still a long way to go for Clase to be in the same conversation as Mariano, but without a doubt, he is this generation's version of it, in my opinion. There's no doubt when you watch Clase come in and pitch that it feels almost absolutely over. Like, we just might as well move on to the next day's game when he comes in to pitch. There's no doubt watching his stuff and his ability to get batters out, to carve batters up, it is second to none in the game. When he comes into a game, it is absolutely fearful watching batters approach him, especially those lefty batters dealing with that cutter cutting in on their hands. Without a doubt, Emanuel C is the #1 relief pitcher in the game today. But I want to hear from you, baseball fans. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comment section below. List your top 10 relief pitchers in the game for the 2025 down below. Make sure you find me over on X at banter_baseball, as well as on all other social media platforms at Baseball Banter Broadcast. So I'm going to thank you for tuning in. Keep it locked in all off season as we continue looking at the top 10 right now series in this 2025 campaign. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.